Yes. A very good evening to all my future chartered accountants. This is the way how I address you all, isn't it? All right. So, before beginning with chapter 2, I would just like to ask you all whether you all have attempted the questions of chapter number 1, which you were supposed to. We have completed the chapter number 1 in the last previous class, and then you were given certain questions to be attempted by your own self. So have you all attempted that? Just show me a thumbs up if you have. I could see some common students here. Iswarya, have you done? Ria was there, Rinki was there. All right, okay, good, very good. All right. So now to begin with chapter 2, you should understand this is very important chapter from the exam point of view, and it has a weightage of around 10 marks, around 10 marks I'm saying. So you just can't afford to leave the chapter, that is for sure. But also one thing which you need to understand, this is a very scoring chapter as well, because very often in on an average every exam you get a question from this chapter. So it's easy to attempt if you understand it well. Okay, so before starting with the chapter, I would like to start it with just an example. The chapter is about audit strategy, planning, and audit program. Okay, so three things they are saying about strategy, planning, and program. Okay, leave aside a word audit for the time being. Forget audit. Okay, let us just talk about strategy, planning, and program for our own preparation for the exam. Okay, we all make strategy for the exam. Do we make strategy for the exam? Come on, tell me, do we make strategy? What do you mean by strategy? Anyone? What do you mean by strategy? Yes, Rosie Valia, you can write in the chat box. What do you mean by strategy? What do you mean by strategy? Where is this word strategy coming from? Write in the chat box. Write in the chat box. Vishal, Purnima, Rajvi, Rosie, all of you are raising their hands. Just write this word, the meaning of the word strategy in the chat box. Where is this word coming from? Strategy. Strategy in Hindi means Radniti. Radniti, you understand? During the time of war, when there used to be war between kings and among the kings, so this word Radniti has come from that war. Strategy is how you plan things. Okay? Is how you plan things. Have you understood the meaning of strategy? How you plan your action to achieve some long-term goal. How you plan your action to achieve some long-term goal. This word strategy is coming from that place, war. Okay. So now, are you into a long-term goal? Is this CA is a long-term goal for you all? Come on, tell me. Is CA a long-term goal for you all? Yes, it is. It takes foundation, intermediate, your training, then you attempt your GMCS and your IT training, and then you appear for the final, isn't it? All right. So this is also a long term. Let us do this chapter in a way of an example. Just try to understand what is the crux of the chapter. You are preparing for your exam, okay, your CA exam. So you are making some kind of strategy. Ma'am, what is strategy? For example, you're preparing for your CA exam. You have decided to pursue CA. All right, ma'am. Now, in strategy, you will see to three things: scope, timings, and direction. Scope is how much coverage. are you going to cover for your exam? For example, your target is you are planning for 60 plus in all the subjects. Don't give me that look. It is very, very easy to score 60 plus if you plan, you strategize, and you program yourself accordingly. This chapter is all about. This is what I'm saying. Just leave aside the word audit and assume you are preparing for your CA exam. So you have prepared a strategy. You have decided the scope. Scope is the coverage. You say, I have to just get 60 plus in all the subjects. So I'm covering all the aspects of the subjects. Okay. That is the scope. Now, timings. When have you to finish the syllabus? Definitely before the exam. Very much before the exam, because then you have to revise also. Scope, timing. Direction. What is the direction? What efforts? How are you focusing onto it? What efforts are you taking to achieve that 60 plus marks in all the subjects? Are you solving? Are you understanding the concepts? Are you solving the questions? Are you writing the questions? Are you practicing RTP, MTP issued by the institutes? Are you understanding? So all this is your direction. So strategy includes three things. Come on, repeat with me. Say it loud. No matter whosoever is sitting next to you in the home, or you are alone inside the room and you are talking to your own self, it doesn't matter. What is matter is that you are learning with me in the class. Okay. So strategy includes three things: scope, timing, direction. Repeat with me. Scope, the coverage; timings, by when have you to complete; and direction, how are you going to achieve that. You are going to cover MTP and all that. So that is basically strategy. Now for this strategy, you have to plan something. What do you plan? Do you plan your study? Do you make a timetable? Do you? Which you never follow, or you follow? Come on, reply. Do you follow your timetable? Because you make such hypothetical timetables, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, which you never will because you have slept late at night. Huh? Then 4 hours accounts, 5 hours audit. Don't make such hypothetical timetable, otherwise you will never be able to achieve that. Make decent timetables for yourself. Okay, so you plan. And why you plan? What three things have you to see? Nature, timing, and extent of your work. Nature is what kind of work are you going to do? Okay, timing, again, how are you going to do it? What is the timetable? What is the time limit? Consistently you have to do. It is not that one day you sit for 10 hours and study, the other day you don't sit at all. So it has to be consistent. So nature, timing, extent. Extent is how much are you going to cover. So this is how you plan your study. Okay, sticking to just these two terms right now, strategy and planning. Is this story clear to you all? Just give me a thumbs up if it is. Just show me a thumbs up if this much story is clear to you all. Just show me thumbs up. Not raise hand, show me thumbs up. Don't raise your hand, show me thumbs up. If this story clear to you all. All right. Okay. All right. So now we are just heading towards the chapter. Okay. The chapter says planning. How are you going to plan things? Because planning includes two things: strategy and plan. Developing a plan means making the plan is involved in planning. Planning involves two things: strategy and plan. Developing a plan. Okay. So now just come to this, that what does this chapter is basically comprised, or you can divide this chapter into two parts: essay 300 and audit program. Essay 300 is nothing but planning and audit of financial statement. This is all this chapter about. Essay 300. Repeat with me. 300. Planning and audit of financial statements. Repeat with me. Say loud with me. Auditor's responsibility to plan and audit financial statement, and SA 300. Which standard have we done in the previous class? Anyone? Can you just quickly write in the chat box which standard did we cover in chapter number 1 and what is its heading? You all have to remember the name of the essay, the number of the essay along with its full name. Can someone just write in the chat box the essay we had covered in the previous chapter, that is chapter number 1, along with its name, Uya Kasa. I have hinted also. Write in the chat box. Why is nobody writing in the chat box? Is the chat box working? I'm just texting in the chat box. Just see, is it working? Why aren't you all replying in the chat box? Essay 200. Isn't it? What is the name of essay 200? Please, why aren't you all writing in the chat box? Technical team, is there some glitch? Technical team? Am I audible? Technical team? Am I audible? The technical team, please respond. The technical team, am I audible? Please unmute yourself and answer. Is there any glitch in the chat box today? I'm not getting any chats. Nisang, Mr. Nisang. All of you, please let me know, am I audible or not? Ishwarya, please unmute yourself and answer, please. Rosie Valia, can any one of you unmute yourself and answer to my this thing, that whether am I audible or not? All of you are raising your hands, that I can see, but please any one of you unmute yourself. BOS technical team, am I audible? Can any one of you unmute yourself and just answer? What is the matter? I'm failing to understand. Technical team, are you there? Anyone from the BOS? All of you are raising your hands. Could you just write something in the chat box? What is the matter? Am I audible? Technical team, are you there? Please respond. Should I proceed or not? Please help me out. Am I audible? Please, any one of you, just unmute yourself and answer. Miss Medha?
Ma'am, actually the chats are disabled, and yes, we can hear you very clearly. We are just not able to answer because the chats are disabled by the technical team.
Okay, all right. but
And
is
for you, if you want us to say we are, I mean, you just need to unmute us, because all of us just are waiting and we are unable to just write it down.
all right. It is fine. Did have you all understood the story which I told you? Just respond so that I can proceed.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
absolutely, ma'am.
okay,
That
then
is
I'm
the
without
reason we
wasting,
are all.
all right, without wasting time, I'll just continue. All right, thank you so much, Medha. Thank you for your
Thank you,
response.
ma'am. Good evening.
Very good evening to all. Okay,
Thank you.
so there's some glitch with let the technical team join so that we'll be able to sort this out. Okay, so SA 300 is planning and audit of financial statements. All right. Now, what is the objective of SA 300? The objective of SA 300 that audit is performed in efficient and effective manner. The overall objective, like for SA 200, was to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement and so on. But objective of SA 300 is that audit is performed in efficient and effective manner. Now, I'll quickly tell you the difference between efficient and effective. Any one of you who know the meaning between efficient and effective? Efficient and effective. Yes, Rosie Valia, I'll just unmute yourself. Okay, Rosie Valia. Wait, where are you, Rosie? Rosie Valia. Okay, Rosie Valia. I'm unmuting yourself. I'm unmuting yourself. Rosie Valia, just answer. Yes, Rosie.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Rosie,
Good
are you
evening.
there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Very good evening. Just answer my question. Do you know the difference between efficient and effective?
Ma'am, efficient means it should be like qualitative work. Like audit should be of good quality.
Good
Efficient should be
quality. Okay.
related to time something.
Something. Time something. Okay. Without wasting further time, let me tell you the difference between the two. Efficiency and effectiveness. There are two terms. Efficiency is related to input. Okay, you say the workers, the employees, the laborers are efficient in their work. Means they are able to do more work in less time or full utilization of resources. Are you able to understand? Efficient. Efficient is related to input. That is, if you're putting in some labor, you're putting in some efforts, you say it efficient. Means full utilization of resources and input is being given. And when you talk of effectiveness, what do you say? Your AC, is it effective? Do you say AC effective? What do you say? AC is efficient or effective? You say it is effective. Effective is related to outcome. So here we say with minimum input, we are able to generate maximum output. That is what is meant by efficiency. And effectiveness is definitely related to output. How is the output? Is the outcome up to the mark or not? Is the AC effective? This is what we ask. Is the AC effective? Is the cooler effective? We don't say is the AC efficient. No. Is the labor efficient? Is the machinery efficient? Isn't it? But AC says, is it effective? Yes. So input, relation between input and output. So we say that with minimum input, we are able to generate maximum output. That is what we call it full utilization of resources, which you have studied in economics. Isn't it? So audit is performed in efficient and effective manner means we have put in efforts and the outcome of audit is effective. It has served its purpose. It was successful. All right. So this is the meaning of efficient and effective. So what does SA 300 tells you? SA 300 tells you that the audit is performed in efficient and effective manner. Means the auditor is not able to waste time. He has put in efforts and with less of work, he is able to generate maximum output. Means true and fair opinion he is able to give. Are you all understanding the meaning of efficient and effectiveness? So the overall objective of 300 is that audit is performed in efficient and effective manner. The outcome of the audit is so that it is able to convey to the intended users the real picture of financial statements. Okay, so SA 300 is planning or an audit of financial statement. Will you all remember this SA 300? 200 was overall objective, those two O's. 300 is planning and audit. Okay, all right. So they say that why do you need to plan? Why do you need to plan? Why is planning necessary? Why do you plan for your exam? Why do you plan? You plan so that you are able to complete your syllabus in time. You are able to ensure with the professional standards, means you are able to write your answers as per what is expected from you by ICAI. Whatever keywords are given in your study material, you are able to put them across. Isn't it? Professional standard. There is some standard of ICAI. You just can't write lame answers. There's a standard. There's a way, there's a format how ICAI requires or expects you to write the answer. So this is why you are planning. Why are you writing? You are writing answers so that you are able to write in the exam well as per the benchmark set by the institute, as per what institute expects you to write. Isn't it? And also you are able to achieve the outcome of that planning is that you come out with flying colors in your exam. You are able to attain good marks. You are able to pass with good marks. Isn't it? This is why you plan. Why do you plan? Why do you make the timetable and study as per the plan? So that you complete your syllabus in time. You are able to comply with the ICAI standards and your results are effective. Your outcome is good. So similarly, planning and audit is necessary for three things. So that audit is carried out in timely manner. The auditor goes and he doesn't take years and months to complete the audit. No, he's able to complete it within that time span. And also he's able to meet with the professional standards. What are those professional standards? Those are nothing by in standards on auditing issued by ICAI. This is the overall objective under 200 we studied. No, that the auditor has to give his opinion and report and communicate his opinion as per the standards on auditing. So he is able to ensure compliance with professional standard, and also the audit engagement is performed effectively, means the outcome. The intended users are able to get the true picture of the financial statements. Is this much clear? Why is planning necessary? Is this much clear? Why is planning necessary? Okay. Now what are the benefits? What are the benefits? This why is necessary? There are three reasons. But what are the benefits? What will you achieve while planning? When you plan your studies, what are you going to achieve? Similarly, when you come to audit, what are the benefits of planning? It is a very important question and asked n number of times in your ICAI examination. So pay attention to it. What are the benefits of planning? The benefits of planning are that the auditor to devote AA to important areas. What is AA? Appropriate attention. So that why are you planning? Benefit is planning is when you are planning, you are able to give importance to those important areas. When I say that this is important for your exam. So you plan, aha, this answer I have to prepare because this is the important area from where the questions can come in the exam. So similarly, when you do the audit, the auditor is experienced that much that he is able to make out that this is the important area where you get maximum misstatements. For example, your PL side, your current assets, isn't it? Your other liabilities, your other assets, where you can just put in things like that. So this is the important area where you have to check. So you plan accordingly, isn't it? That you're able to give appropriate attention to important areas. AA. Then next point, PP. That the auditor is able to identify and resolve potential problems on timely basis. When you are studying, You're able to identify, oh, this is the problem. Oh, this I have to study. So you plan accordingly that this topic in accounts, this amalgamation, it takes lot of time. So I have to give more time to this chapter. Chapter number 3 in audit, chapter number 9 in audit, it demands special attention. It is longer ones. So I have to give more time, isn't it? So PP, potential problems. Will you remember AA, appropriate attention, PP, potential problem. Next is EE. What is EE? So that the auditor is able to organize and manage the audit in effective and efficient manner. That was the whole objective of SA 300. That is able to organize and manage the audit in an effective and efficient. EE, AA, PP, EE. Will you all remember? Appropriate attention, potential problem, and effective and efficiently. 3 things done, AAEEPP. Then selection. Now for that, he will select the engagement team. What do you mean by engagement team? Engagement team is a team of members, of partners who are going to perform that very account, that very audit, that very engagement. Engagement, you all remember? Audit is a kind of engagement. Is it a kind of assurance engagement? Yes. What kind of assurance do you give? Reasonable assurance. What do you mean by that? High level of assurance. Are you able to link? See, this is why this is the beauty of subject audit, that each and every chapter is interlinked. You just can't say, I'll leave chapter number 1 and I'll straight away do chapter number 2. No, you just can't. Everything is so beautifully synchronized and connected. And thanks to our ICAI, who have, made this material in such a beautiful manner as to keep the flow alive. There are few chapters which might pop up, the terminology of which might pop up somewhere in between some chapters. But again, it is designed in a way that you're able to connect the chapters. Okay. So it says selection of engagement team who are able to anticipate risks. What do you mean by risk? Anyone? What do you mean by risk? Risk is nothing but an uncertainty of happening or non-happening of an event. What is the risk in your exam? Is the risk that you come out with flying colors? Is this the risk? The risk is that the paper might come difficult or you might not perform well. This is the risk. Risk is always of some negative happening, isn't it? Or risk is that, oh, I might come first in the class. This is the risk. Oh, my, I might come first. Is this the risk? No, it is not the risk. Risk is that you might lose some marks due to your carelessness. So some negative happening is the risk. Now, what is the risk in case of audit? The risk is that the auditor might not be able to detect certain things which he should have. He gives a wrong opinion stating that the financial statements are true and fair when it is not true and fair. Are you all understanding? So he has to select that proper engagement team who are capable and competent enough to respond to assess risk, respond to take appropriate action to resolve that risk or minimize it to an acceptably low level. There is a proper standard on risk assessment, which we will be doing it very shortly. But as of now, for this chapter, just understand that the auditor needs to reduce the risk. Risk is that he might not give a wrong opinion on the financial statement, saying intended users, the financial statements are true and correct, although it wasn't. Are you all understanding? So this is the risk. So he is selecting the engagement team. Then come, if he has selected, now DSR, he has to facilitate direction. He has to give direction. He has to supervise. What do you mean by supervision? He has to see, are things in place? Is this engagement partner working properly? Is this partner working properly? This partner was engaged to look into this matter. Inventory. This Mr. X was supposed to see inventory. Is he seeing two inventories? This is called supervision, when you try to manage the team as a whole and review their work to see. Someone says, like you tell me, ma'am, I have written the answer. Who's there to review? Who's there to review? Last time Karna ma'am said, you send me the answers, I will check. So she will review. She will again see to whatever mistakes you have done. Okay. So this engagement partner, he will see, oh, this work done by him, is it appropriate? Is it fine enough? Has he done in proper time? This is review. So AA, appropriate attention to important areas. PP, identify and resolve potential problems. EE, that audit is organized and managed in efficient and effective manner. Then selection of engagement team who are capable and competent to anticipate risk. Then facilitate DSR, direction, supervision and review of the work of the engagement team. And then experts. What do you mean by experts? Assisting where applicable in coordination of work by others such as experts. 620, essay 620 is dedicated essay for this, but for the time being, just stick to this. What do you mean by while performing the audit? Sometimes it so happens that you are not able to assess things. For example, there is some civil construction for which valuation is to be seen to. Now, are you an expert in valuation? No, you will call some certified valuer for the same. He is an expert in that field. You will seek his advice. You will consult that expert person. For example, there is some litigation matter. Now, you are not very that good at litigation. So, what are you going to do? You are going to consult some tax expert. All right. So this is what consultation and coordination of work done by others such as experts. So what are the things we have to see while planning? What are the things? AA, PP, EE, selection, DSR and experts. Will you remember? Will you remember these things? Okay. Then, therefore, planning an audit ensures that audit risk, what is risk? Uncertainty regarding happening or non-happening of an event. In our case, that auditor might come up with a wrong opinion where there was a material misstatement, but he could not detect it. Okay. So, to reduce it to an acceptably low level, when audit is adequately and properly planned, it reduces the risk of inappropriate opinion by the auditor. Obviously, when you plan things properly, when the auditor plan things, then the risk of getting an inappropriate opinion, it could be that you are writing that the financial statements show true and fair view, although it was not. There was some material misstatement which you were unable to detect. Or you say that the financial statements are not true and fair, although it was. You could not see those things. You give a disclaimer, although that things were available, or you did not take extra effort, you did not seek external confirmation, other audit procedures you did not perform to seek that information or audit evidence for that matter. Isn't it? So this planning helps to facilitate that the auditor does not come up with any inappropriate opinion. Now, I would like any one of you to just raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute and let me know whether this much is clear to you all or not so that we can proceed as the chat box is not working. Yes, Purnima? Purnima. Who's raising the hand? Just let me know, please. Purnima, okay. Purnima, I can't find your name here.
Ma'am, I think let's continue, and at the
Okay.
end we can have it for interaction.
Okay, ma'am, that there's some glitch in the chat box. I guess the chat box is not working. That is why
Okay,
they are not able.
Nisarji, please see
Yes, there
what
is a
is the
glitch in.
issue.
Yeah, because
Because
they are not
otherwise,
able
what
to
will
reply.
happen now? The link will be break actually.
I understand, but
Nisarji,
since
please check if
there
there
is
is
a
any
glitch in
issue
the
in the
chat
chat
box,
system.
they are not able to write their query. Yes, now you have enabled. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now you have enabled. They were not able to write their query in the
Yeah.
chat box. Thank you,
And at the
technical.
end, we will definitely interact.
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so since the chat box is fine now, you all can show me your thumbs up. All right. Now, quickly covering to the benefits of planning, what we have done. A, appropriate attention to important areas. It is a very important topic from your exam point of view. Direct questions are asked here in the exams. Okay. So please pay attention. Just revise with me once again. PP, potential problems. EE, that the audit is organized and managed in efficient and effective manner. Then selection. Then DSR, direction, supervision and review of the work. Then coordination with other auditors and experts. Other auditor, SA 600, which will be covered in the later part of your subject, and SA 620 that relates to experts. One example I would like to give. For example, you are auditing a consolidated financial statement. Consolidated, you understand? There's a holding company and there are subsidiary company to it. Okay, you are auditing the consolidated financial statement, means holding plus subsidiary. Now, when you are just auditing the financial statement, this consolidated one, you need to seek some information from the auditor of the subsidiary company. So this is what you are trying to coordinate with other auditor. He's also an auditor. He's an auditor of that subsidiary company. So you are trying to coordinate. So this is what is meant by coordination with other auditor. So this is also a benefit of planning. Unless and until you plan the same, you will not be able to coordinate. So is this 6 benefits of planning clear to you all? Because very, very important from your exam point of view. All right. Now they say that who all should be involved in this audit planning. When you are planning, who all should be involved? It says your engagement partner, the one who is auditing, the main auditor. Okay. Plus other key members. Who are the key members? The ones who are forming part of that engagement team. Okay. And who are supposed to be present in those teams? People who have experience plus insight. What do you mean by insight? They have sound knowledge of auditing and they are experienced in auditing. All right. So what does it say? Who all should be involved in audit planning? Planning is you're sitting together. Who should be involved? The audit engagement partner, the main auditor who's supposed to audit, plus other key members, those present in that team who are supposed to be there, experienced plus people of who have insight. And why is it done? Why are these people involved? So that our audit is done in effective and efficient manner. I hope this efficient and effective, what I have explained to you, is now clear to you all, the difference between the two and how our audit should be done in an effective and efficient manner. All right, so that we don't waste much of time in that audit and also we come out with a right opinion, appropriate opinion. All right, this is why we plan and who all are involved we have done. Now they say, can we discuss whatever we have discussed while planning? The engagement partner is them, other key members are there. Then we are planning. Okay, they say whatever you have discussed in that discussion, in that planning, can you discuss these elements of planning with the management? What management? The people who are responsible, the responsible party. You all remember that done in the previous class. Responsible party who are responsible for preparing the financial statements, the subject matter as per applicable criteria. So can you discuss this elements of planning, whatever you have planned with them? They say definitely yes. To facilitate engagement. Facilitate means so that your audit speeds up. You tell them, no, the management, we have planned this way that we will be first checking the purchases, then we will go to these expenses part, we will come to the inventory part. This is our scope. Okay. And then we are planning to complete it by this date. Okay. And we are planning to take this much of sample, the extent of audit. Okay, so they say yes, definitely you can discuss your elements of planning with the management to facilitate your audit, but you should not overshare. Why? Why you should not overshare? Suppose you say, I'm going to check this. Now the management might do some window dressing. Window dressing, you understand? They say, oh, auditor is coming to check this particular thing. Let's fabricate it. Fabricate it means put them some bogus entries into this, or just turn it into something which looks very convincing to the auditor, because there was something missing into that. It was not the all the invoices were not updated. Let's do something. They're trying to fiddle with that information. So if you overshare the information with the management, what is going to happen? It is going to compromise the effectiveness of audit. Compromise the effectiveness of audit, that you come up with the appropriate opinion. And if you share with them, suppose the guests, auditors are guests, management, people who live in the house, your aunt calls up your mother, or your friends call you up and say, we are coming to your house. Now you are the auditor, or the management, sorry, you are the management and your friends are auditor. They are coming to your house. Now what will you do? You will try to settle things at home. So fine, let's clean this area, clean that area, dump all the stuff into that room. Let's lock it so that they are not able to see. The guests are not able to see whatever, how untidily we live, or how dirty we keep our things, isn't it? You try to window dress the things. Similarly, now what will happen? Those guests will they come? They will say, oh, how lovely, how clean you keep your house. Although this was not the fact. The fact was that it was all shabby. The moment you get to know that they are coming, you try to window dress things. Similarly, auditor, if they tell the management, I'm coming to check this, they will try to window dress it. What will happen? They will come up with a wrong opinion. They will say, yes, this portion is good. This particular item of the financial statement is fine, although it wasn't. So it might compromise the effectiveness of audit, the outcome, the opinion with the actual opinion the auditor should have given. Are you able to understand this? All right. So this is why they say you should discuss. You can discuss your elements of planning with the management, but don't overshare, because it will compromise the effectiveness of audit. Plus one more thing, the responsibility is of the auditor. It is the auditor's responsibility to prepare, to plan and strategize the audit. For audit strategy and planning, who is responsible? The auditor is responsible. So you can't say that it is someone else's responsibility. No, it is the responsibility of the auditor. So if you get an MCQ, so you have to remember the responsibility of the auditor to plan and strategize the audit. All right. Now, proceeding. Nature of audit planning. They say, what kind of a nature is there of planning? They say planning is a continuous process and iterative. Iterative is mean applied repeatedly. Like you're planning for your exam. Can you just plan one day and leave the other days like that? No, you have to continuously plan. Today I will complete audit this chapter, accounts this chapter, law this chapter. The other day you say then costing this chapter, FM this chapter, SM this chapter. So you are planning continuously now. Similarly, in audit, it is a continuous and iterative. Iterative is a keyword. Continuous and iterative. You have to write it. Iterative means applied repeatedly. Okay. They say planning is not a discrete phase. Discrete phase, it is not separate. It is not that once you do it and then you leave it. No, it is not so. It is a continuous and iterative process. It has to be applied again and again. Okay. Then they say that the planning, however, includes consideration of timing of certain activities. You have to time yourself. You just can't say, if I'm going to do one chapter of audit, you're spending 3-4 days into that. No. Similarly, when you are planning the audit, you can't just go on planning and doing the audit. There is some time foundation where you have to complete the audit, isn't it? Okay. Then they say, and audit procedures that need to be completed prior to the performance of further audit procedures. Now, you will shortly learn in your next chapter what are audit procedures, risk assessment procedures, and what are further audit procedures. So that will be done very shortly in the next chapter. But for this chapter, just take into mind that when the auditor is not convinced with some risk assessment procedures, he take up other further audit procedures, some other procedures to be performed. When you're not satisfied with one thing, you go beyond, isn't it? In a similar manner, when auditor is not satisfied, not convinced with some procedures, he say, I'm not really convinced with these many samples. What will he do? He will take more samples. He will perform some other audit procedures. Okay. And there is a long list of what all audit procedures are there, which we will do in the next chapter. All right. Then, for example, planning includes needs to consider prior to auditor's identification and assessment of the risk of material statement. Okay. Now, these are nothing. Please write down there factors to be considered prior. Write down there with your pencil. These are nothing but factors to be considered prior to the auditor's identification and assessment of risk of material misstatement. What are the factors to be considered? Just write that question, because this question has been asked in May 24, MTP 24 also, MTP May 24 and RTP May 19 and 21. So see, so many times this question, and it has come in the form of factors affecting. Okay, just write down there factors. What are the factors? Yes, Rosie, sorry, just put in the chat box whatever is your concern. Rosie, what is your concern? No concerns. Okay. So just write there so that you get to know this is a form of it can come in a form of a question. What are the factors? Okay. So they say these are the matters which you have to see or which the auditor needs to consider for seeing the risk of material misstatement. Material misstatement we had discussed in the last class. Risk, what is the risk? There might be a misstatement. The risk is that there might be a material misstatement, some big misstatement. Okay. So prior to this, what have you to see? You have to apply, before coming to any conclusion, you have to apply some analytical procedures. Ma'am, what are these analytical procedures? We will do that. A part of analytical procedures are risk assessment procedures, further audit procedures. But for this chapter, just say that analytical analysis, you do analysis. Here, what you do, this is the kind of procedure where you try to compare things. You try to check relationship between some financial and non-financial information. You see some pattern. For example, I'm telling you, you see a pattern. For example, last year the profit was this much, and this year the profit is this much. Last 2 years, there was a profit of 1 lakh, 1,25,000. This year, the profit is coming to 5 lakhs. How come? You did an analysis, you tried to compare, and then you say, what is that making profit hype so much? So this you are going to check. Another example I'm trying to give you. For example, there's a traveling expenses, and you have seen in 1920, there was a travel expenses of say rupees 1 lakh. And in the year 2021, there's a travel expense of 2 lakhs. 100% hike. And not ignoring the fact that 2021 was a year of COVID, when there was so much restriction in travel. To say how come the traveling expenses, there is some bogus entries which have been put in. So this is the analytical procedures which you have done to assess the risk of material misstatement. Okay. Then obtaining general understanding of the legal regulatory framework. What do you mean by that? See, like we had discussed in the previous chapter, applicable financial reporting framework. You understand? Applicable financial reporting framework, some kind of framework which is applicable to that particular industry. Similarly, there are other companies. For example, I had discussed hire purchase company, banking company, insurance company. Let's say telecom company, Airtel, Jio. Who are their regulators? Right. Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Now, they have to prepare their statements as per their regulators, their TRI-says. HDFC, SBI, they will prepare their financial statements as per the RBI norms, isn't it? Now, if they do not prepare their financial statements as per that particular framework, there has to be a penalty charged. There has to be penalty. Now, end of the financial year, they have prepared the statement which is not as per the regulatory requirement. Regulatory requirement as per the law, as per their regulators' demand, they have not prepared the financial statement. Now they will be penalized. Now, if they will be penalized, they have to make some provision for that penalty, provision or some kind of contingent liability. You understand? Where you all understand the meaning of contingent liability. The firm has neither made a contingent liability nor a provision. So, is this a risk of material misstatement? Yes. Such huge amount of penalty is going to be levied, and they haven't made any provision or they haven't made any contingent liability. Now, the question might arise, ma'am, had they known, they have prepared? No, they have got to know after preparation that they have not prepared as per it. So, they had to make some provision. Okay, this is a risk of material misstatement. What else? They have to see the materiality level. Where is materiality discussed? Exclusively in SA 320. What is materiality? We have discussed a benchmark, which is dependent upon the nature and size of the business. This business, big materiality level set. Do you remember that a retailer shop next to your shop having annual turnover of 1 lakh rupees and Ambani's materiality level, isn't it? All right. Then involvement of experts, SA 620. See, I'm just giving you reference here so that you try to just remember and write there. Just write with pencil there. SA 320 is related to materiality, analytical procedures, SA 520. See, when you start writing these things, now you will try to retain these essays. And nothing like it if you remember the number and its name. If you write them in your answer, it's going to be very, very good and you're going to score good marks. Because the examiner get to know, yes, the child has really worked hard. He has tried to retain the essay's number, the name of the essay. It is important at your level. Can't deny that fact. Okay, it could be asked in mere MCQ. Then what are you going to do? You're going to lose marks for free. Okay, so please just write down whatever I'm telling you. Analytical procedures, SA 500, materiality, SA 320, involve experts, SA 620. Okay, other auditor, SA 600. So, Abhi, for the time being, just go with whatever I'm telling. And other risk assessment procedures. Other risk assessment procedures are other procedures which has to be performed. So, you can just remember this. Okay, all right. So just quickly revising. Okay, before, is this much understood to all? Okay, so these are the factors which you have to consider. What are the factors? Analytical procedures you have to see. You have to, factors are realm. Realm, this is how I'm trying to make you learn the short forms. Risk of material misstatement, E for experts, A for analytical procedures, IL for legal regulatory framework, and M for materiality. Real. Real. So the factors are real. Are you able to remember these things? Come on, real. Risk assessment procedures. E stands for experts. A stands for analytical procedures. L stands for legal and other regulatory framework. M stands for materiality. Okay. Now, proceeding. They say, therefore, planning includes consideration of matter. Now, they say, what will the auditor consider while planning? He will consider the matter such as knowledge about legal. Suppose you are going to do audit of Airtel and Jio and you have no idea of what tries, or you are going to SBI. You should be knowing Banking Reserve Bank or Banking Regulation Act, isn't it? So this is what you're saying. You should be having knowledge of that. Such entities operate in different legal and regulatory frameworks. They have a different set of frameworks for them. Okay. So planning also needs to consider determination of material or significant matters. It also involves whether experts need to be involved while taking into account the complexity of the business. For example, I told you there is some plant and equipment where valuation is required. You are not expert in that. You are going to refer some registered valuer. You have got to some industry where you just have to see the level of carbon dioxide. How are you expert at just measuring it, isn't it? Or you have to tell the circle rate, you have to just assess the circle rate. They have disposed of something and you don't know what the circle rate. Are you good at it? No, you're going to refer to an expert. So you have to see whether do you need an expert or not. Okay. And it also involves need to perform risk assessment procedures. Okay, which could be like inquiry, observations, review. These all things we will do. Whatever risk assessment procedures we have to do in detail. Okay. Then they say involvement of key management team. Will you involve people? Yes. And who will you involve? People of experience and insight, so that your audit is efficient and effective. This we have already studied. Discuss the elements of planning with the management. Yes, you have, but don't overshare, not to compromise the effectiveness of the audit. All right. Now coming to planning process. What are the elements of planning? Means they say there are two elements of planning. One is the preliminary engagement activity, which you do before starting the engagement. Before even planning, you do. Okay. Preliminary engagement. Before starting the engagement, you plan. And what do you do that? You plan. We will just see what all that includes. It is called preliminary, means pre-audit. Engagement is your audit engagement. Are you all understanding? Engagement activity is nothing but your audit engagement. And before doing that audit, what are you going to plan? Preliminary engagement activity and planning activity. Two things. Pre-engagement, preliminary, it is called preliminary, and planning activity. It says preliminary engagement activity. It is again a very important question which comes directly or in a form of sub case study. Preliminary engagement activity. What are the things which you should consider or include in preliminary engagement activity? Now, here you have to understand there are 2 points of essay 220 and 1 point of essay 210. Ma'am, you are too much going into essays. Believe me, just now you are a little uncomfortable with my throwing numbers of essays to you, but when you write, you will definitely, when you come to that chapter, you will just give a good smile to your own self that you knew the standard number at least, and which will be a big achievement, because then you develop interest in just knowing that standard. Something you just know, you say, ah, I know this, and then you're keen to study it deeper. So whatever standard number I'm just throwing on to you, just write it down there. I'm very, very sure by the end of this session, by the end of this batch, you will be able to retain maximum number of essays along with the names. This is just trust me with that. If you just go with me, flow with me, study with me as I'm teaching you, you will definitely remember the name of the essays, the number as well as the name. So please trust me. Go with me. Essay 220, you have 2 points, and essay 210. 220, you have performing the procedures regarding the continuance of client relationship. Ma'am, what is this? For example, you have an ongoing client, means you have audit in the previous year and now again you have to audit. So what procedures will you perform regarding continuance of the client relationship? You are trying to continue with that client relationship, is that service of the auditor you are continuing even in this year. Okay. Then you have to evaluate the compliance with ethical requirements, including independence. This is again a point coming from essay 220. What is this? You will see whether there is professional competence, where there is competence, where there is capability, whether the team is such, whether the team which you have engaged in the audit, is that team capable enough? Does it have professional sound knowledge? Whatever engagement you're going to take, is your team ready for that? Are there competent people enough in the team to undertake that project or that engagement, including independence? What do you mean by independence? The wishes, or you are not subordinate to the directions or the wishes of the person who have engaged. Somebody from your engagement team is linked to that management. They are known, they are related. What will happen? He will try to hide whatever misstatement is there in that books. So no, you have to keep checking your engagement team, okay, that whether there is ethical requirements, including independent, they are independent, they are not subordinate to wishes, or none of your engagement team partners in the engagement team are linked to them or are losing their independence. Are you understanding this? So these two things you have to check. One, your procedures regarding the continuance. When you are continuing, what have you to do? We will do in detail in essay 220. And evaluating compliance with ethical requirements, including independence. Third point which you will undertake in preliminary engagement, that is, you will check the preconditions. You will establish the understanding of terms of engagement. What do you mean by engagement? I told you, audit engagement, whenever it comes in a form of engagement letter, what happens there? The auditor issues the engagement letter to the client stating that these are my responsibility, this is my scope of work, I will take up this work and you kindly acknowledge the same. And then the client writes, yes, acknowledge. He signs it. So that is, there is a common understanding. There is no misunderstanding between auditor and the client. The client is, do you understand? Do you remember that question where the client was of the opinion that the auditor will investigate or will look into the fraud, whereas this was not covered in the scope of audit. The engagement letter only had audit. It did not include investigation. So are you able to recall? See, only if you read, revise and revise with your first previous chapter, then only can you understand better the second chapter. This is why I always tell you to just revise whatever is taught to you. And if you revise within 24 hours and just a day after, just quick revision, a day will come when you will just take 15 to 20 minutes to revise the entire topic. So please, are you understanding? Preliminary activities include three things. What three things? 2 points from essay 220 and 1 point from essay 210. If you can't remember this 220, 210, leave it. Just remember with me procedures regarding continuance of the client relationship, where you are continuing. Second, you have to evaluate the compliance with ethical requirements of that engagement team, including independence. And third, that understanding of engagement terms means there is an engagement letter where there is a common understanding, consensus ad idem. Do you remember your law? Contract, consensus ad idem. Two people understanding the same thing. There's a common understanding. So consensus ad idem between the auditor and the client. Common understanding. The preconditions between the auditor and the client. Are you understanding? Can we proceed? Okay. Then, preliminary engagement activity includes performing procedures regarding continuance. Now, while seeing this, what have you to see? You have to see acceptance. Either you are accepting it for the first time or you are continuing your relationship with the client for the audit engagement. It should be ensured that proper procedures regarding acceptance and continuance of the client relationship and audit engagement have been followed, and conclusions reached in this regard are appropriate. Now, what is this? What is the conclusion? The opinion. All right. The firm should obtain information considered necessary before accepting an engagement with the new client. Means you are making sure the client, see, this is my scope of work. I'm going to perform the audit of your financial statements starting from 1st April so ending on 31st April so. Are you understanding? This all you have to make clear before accepting. Okay. And then when deciding whether to continue with the existing engagement, there's a continuing ongoing engagement, and you are seeing that the client is just not listening to you. Whatever you are saying, they are denying to it, they are not ready to rectify, then you have to consider that. And when considering new engagement with the existing client, for example, engagement could be lot many engagement: audit engagement, assurance engagement, review engagement. Earlier you were giving an audit engagement. You were engaged with the client in an auditing service. Now that client is coming to you, please sir, perform this review service for me. So this is a new engagement, acceptance of a new engagement with the existing client. Try to remember, try to understand this thing. One is you are altogether accepting a new client. To that, you have to make sure, sir, please see, this is my engagement letter. This is the things I'll be doing. If you agree to it, well and good, we will agree to this, otherwise not. Number one. Number two, there is a continuance of that engagement. Huh? Then what do happens? Every time you do not issue an engagement letter unless and until there are some change in the object of the company or the management has changed. This also we will study. When can an engagement letter with the existing client take a change? Okay. And the third is you are taking up some new engagement with the existing client. Are you understanding? Mr. X is providing service to Mr. A for the first time, new client. Mr. B, he was already giving service to. He is going to continue our audit with Mr. B for another year. Mr. C, he was also into audit service with the auditor, but now he's saying that, please, sir, along with audit, you provide me review services also or some assurance service. Are you understanding? So these are the three things you have to keep in mind. And what are the matters to be considered while doing so? Means while performing procedures regarding the acceptance and continuous, what are the matters you have to consider? You have to consider the integrity of the owner, means the person who's the owner of that business or the company who you're going to audit. Key management. What are their integrity? Are they straightforward? Are they honest? You have to check, isn't it? Then only can you accept a new engagement, or you will continue the engagement, or you will enter into a new engagement, isn't it? Competence of engagement team, your own engagement team, is it competent to undertake this engagement, be it a new engagement, be it a continuing engagement, be it a fresh engagement with the existing client? Are you all understanding? Okay. Then third thing you have to see, that you have to also check you have to see the implications of matter that have arisen during the current and previous audit engagement may need to be considered. Means you have come up with certain you have with certain matters, and you want the engagement team, or you are telling the management to please comply to these things. Then you have to check the implication of the matters which you have implied or you have told the management to see during the current and previous audit engagement. If there is some change, if there were certain things in the previous audit engagement and the new audit engagement has some other terms, you have to consider those matter as well. Are the three matters to be considered while performing the procedures regarding acceptance and continuance clear to you all? Just show me a thumbs up if it is. All right, Prajapati. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. Clear, ma'am. Happy to know that. All right. Very good. So there are three things which you have to consider. Then you have to evaluate the compliance with ethical requirements, including the independence of whom of your own engagement team. And independence means that any one of your engagement team is not subordinate to the directions or wishes of the person who have engaged you as your auditor. Now, when have you to see this compliance of integrity, ethical requirements and independence? You have to see it throughout the engagement. You have to see it throughout the engagement. So the engagement partner shall remain alert through observations and making inquiries. Okay. How are you going to observe it? Through observations and making inquiries. And then the engagement partner shall form a conclusion on the compliance with independence requirement that shall apply to audit engagement. In doing so, the engagement partner shall see. What have they to see? They have to check their independence, no? So throughout the engagement, they have to see from time to time what, that is there any threat. Now, what threat? Is there a threat that a ghost will come and attack them? No. See, I'm giving you an example. There are some threats to independence which we will do in some other chapter, not this chapter. But let me shortly tell you what are the kind of threats. For example, this team, there is some person who has just entered this engagement team who was earlier employee of that company. Just try to understand what I'm saying, huh? There is some person in the engagement team who has just entered and who was an employee of the company which you are going to audit. Okay. What did I say? I said your engagement team, it comprises of 5 people, A, B, C, D, E. Okay. This Mr. E was earlier employee of that company who was preparing the financial statements. He was looking into that stock matter or something. Financial statements are from 1st April to 31st March. Now, he has just joined your engagement team. He was a CA in job that time. Now he is a CA in your firm. He has become your partner. He joined your firm somewhere around February. Okay. Now, you are appointed as their auditors in April. Now, 90% of the time, this person was involved in that company writing books of accounts or some item of financial statement. Now, is there a threat that he will go and check and say all good because he was himself involved there? This is a threat which is called a self-review threat, that he is just reviewing whatever he has written. It is as simple as you write your exam and you check the copy yourself. Will you ever say that this is wrong or that is wrong or I am passed with flying colors? Always you are going to say that. So there is a threat. Okay. Or another example I'm giving you. Someone is this in this team is a spouse of manager of that company or CEO of that company or CFO of that company. There is a familiarity threat. They are familiar, they are known people. So these are few kinds of threat. I'm telling you in short, there is exclusive chapter for you to understand these threats. But as of now, have you just understood what kind of threat can be there? So this has to be evaluated, that some kind of relationship taking place between this engagement team and that management that are linking them. So you have to identify this threat. Then you have to evaluate how much is the threat. You have to evaluate that whether this kind of relationship actually comes under threat or not. Is it actually a threat? For example, you have some Mr. B in your team whose daughter's husband is the CEO of that company. You see, will it really create some kind of a threat? So you have to identify the threat and you have to evaluate whether they actually create a threat. And if it creates a threat, you have to take an appropriate action. Three things has to be checked. Identify threat, check, evaluate whether they actually create the threat of two independence. Independence is that your integrity is being hampered, your opinion will be compromised. You will be you'll try to be biased or partial towards them. Will it happen? And third, you have to take measures, appropriate measures to eliminate it to or reduce it to an acceptably low level. How can you do that? You can just ask that person. You will not check the inventory because since you were an employee at that inventory, or you will not be included in this team, we will take you in some other team in case of audit of some other company. Are you all understanding this? Show me a thumbs up if you have understood. Show me a thumbs up if you have understood. Understood. Krishna says understood. Ma'am, where to write, Rosie Walia? You must be having your study material. Do you take your study material, sit with your study material while in the class? Rosie, write in your study material. Understood? Okay. So all of you have understood that while seeing to the ethic compliance, evaluating the compliance with ethical requirements, including independence, you have to see three things: identify threats, evaluate whether it creates threat or not, and then take appropriate action. All right. Very good if you have understood. Okay. Then you have to establish an understanding of the terms of engagement. 2 points we had discussed of SA 220. One was continuance of the client's relationship. Next was evaluating the compliance with ethical requirements, including independence. Third one, understanding the terms of engagement. This is from essay 210. Okay. Then you have, I told you, auditor will produce a engagement letter and say that, see, this is my duty. If you agree to it, fine enough. Not agree to it, please, we will not proceed with the audit. Fine. In this, you have to see it is in the interest of both the entities and the auditor, means the entity and the auditor sends an audit engagement letter before the commencement of audit to help avoid misstatement. It is as simple as that. If you are going to come in contact with someone, you are going to enter into an agreement with someone, before that you have to make sure, see, these are my terms and conditions. Before accepting it, please agree. Engagement also, any kind of an engagement, you tell the boy or the boy tells the girl, see, I expect this from you and I'm this kind of a person. If you are okay, let's clear it here. Otherwise, after marriage, I'm not going to listen to those hassles and bear those problems. This is what you say, na? भाई पहले से बता दो जो है. So they say this is in the interest of both the parties. You tell the boy, na, or the boy tells the girl, see, we have to adjust this way. If you are okay, fine enough, we can carry forward. Otherwise, call off. Okay, so it is interest of the both the parties, and the auditor sends this engagement letter before the commencement to avoid any kind of misunderstandings. There is no confusion that, see, this is my work. You do not misunderstand anything. Okay. Now they say the performing elementary activities assist the auditor in identifying and evaluating events or circumstances that may affect auditor's ability to plan and perform the audit. This is nothing but the objective of performing the preliminary engagement. If you are being asked in the MCQ, what is the objective of preliminary? We have done the objective of SA 300, planning audit of a financial statement. It was that audit is performed in efficient and effective manner. Objective of performing preliminary engagement is to assist, to help the auditor in identifying and evaluating the events that may affect the ability to plan and perform, because this preliminary is done before planning. Okay, so it assists in planning and performing the audit engagement. Is this much clear to you all? Okay, so just a crux of it is given to you in the study material. What is included? You have to see continuance of client relationship, compliance with ethical requirements, including independence, and you have to establish the understanding of the terms of engagement with the client. Is this much clear to all? We had discussed the strategy. Okay. Now coming to planning activities. Anyone, any doubt till now, please ask your queries. Because this is another set which we are going to start. Anyone, any doubt? Have all of you understood? Ma'am, conditions of engagement letter are made by auditor or client. It is Gunjan Devi. It is made by the auditor. The engagement letter is sent by the auditor to the client. Gunjan Devi. Is it clear? Okay. All right. Anyone else any doubt? Anyone else any doubt? Ma'am, I'm direct NP student but unable to attend live, so I've watched recorded lecture. And ma'am, can you please avoid WhatsApp group link provide? Hardik Doshi, for this you have to consult Board of Studies, the app. Okay. Shubhi, you must have got the study material. Okay. All right. So no query regarding the content. Okay. Coming to planning activities. Now, since strategy we had said scope, timings and direction. For plan, we will do nature, timing and extent. Okay. Now, in planning, we have to see the overall strategy plus the audit plan. Audit plan is the planning of your audit, which will include any changes in the audit plan as well as documentation. Documentation, again, you have a dedicated chapter, chapter number 6, dedicatedly for documentation. We will just tell you what have you to document. It is nothing but work, doing your work. Okay, how are you doing your work? In audit, we say work not documented is work not done. Means when I ask you, show me your answer, what have you written? You said, ma'am, there is nothing in the copy, but I've just done it. I've done orally. I say, I don't believe you. Unless and until you write and show it to me, it is not documented, I will not believe. There, because you all know written evidence is more persuasive in nature than the oral evidence. Okay, so they say work should be documented so that you are able to tell that this is the work you have done. All right. So planning activities involves what all things does it involve? It includes establishing the overall objective planning and developing the audit plan. And in audit plan, we describe the nature, timing and extent. Okay. Now establishing the overall objective strategy is you set the scope, timing and direction of the audit and guides the development of more detailed audit plan. All right. So what have we to do here? We have to see that the auditor shall establish an overall audit strategy that sets the scope, timing and direction that guides the development of audit plan. The process of establishing the overall strategy it helps the auditor to determine, subject to the completion of auditor's risk assessment procedures. Matters such as risk assessment procedures mean these are the procedures where the auditor will try to assess to see whether risk of material misstatement is present there or not. Now for this, what will the auditor do? He will check for the area which has high risk. What could be that area? Other assets, other liabilities. He's saying he have to see what resources he has to deploy. Resources he has to deploy means what are the resources he will deploy? He will obviously engage the engagement team there. Okay. So the resources to deploy for specific audit area that are high risky in nature or involvement of experts on complex nature. There could be some transactions which are complex in nature. The auditor will ask for the expert's advice. Okay. Then the amount of resources to allocate to specific, how much people to deploy there. Suppose your engagement team consists of 6 people and there is some high risky area, suppose inventory. And you think this inventory involves to deploy some people. Now, will you employ all 6 of 6 to that 6 of your engagement team to see inventory only? How much? How many people should you employ there? Maybe 2, maybe max to max 3, not more than that. What will the other financial statements, items of other financial statements do? All right. So amount of resources, the number of engagement team, number of team members to be assigned to that uh, particular class of transactions. When have you to deploy these resources? Means कब? When? At what time? Should it be in the mid of some date, like you're performing the audit and your tenure is like for 10 days you'll be doing the audit. Now, on the 5th day, on the 1st day, on the last day, when will you deploy? Okay. So when are these the cutoff date? Cutoff dates are decided by the auditor himself. When to deploy? Cutoff dates. Now, how such resources are managed? Means how are you going to direct, supervise? Direction, you will give direction, I check this. Then you'll have to supervise. Are they really checking it? Okay. So all these things are like your have to, the matters where the auditor's risk assessment procedures will be dependent, will be, you have to, these are subject to what matters? The matters are, the auditor will see for the resources to be deployed in high risk areas. How much resources to be deployed, when to deploy, how to manage, direct and supervise them. Is this much clear to you all? Show me a thumbs up if yes. Show me a thumbs up if yes. Okay, Deepak Roy is saying clear. Understood. Okay. All right. Vaishnavi also says fine. Okay. Now coming to the next topic. Factors to be taken into consideration by the auditor for establishing audit strategy. Strategy I say, Raniti. What are the factors? What are the things which the auditor, yes, somebody is raising the hand. Any doubt? What is her name? I just missed out. Some D. Yes, who raised the hand? Any doubt, anyone? Please raise your hand so that I can stop and explain that thing to you. Anyone, any doubt till now? Ashwarya, Miss Ashwarya. Yes, please write in the chat box, Ashwarya. Ashwarya, write in the chat box. Ma'am, please explain in short of continuance relationship with client. Okay. Okay, Ashwarya, just listen to me once again. We are saying continuance relationship with the client. It means that when you are continuing your services with the said client, means you were in that agreement with the client to provide auditing service. Again, this year you are continuing with the same. But then you have to check, are everything okay? There is no threat to independence? Means none of your team member are related to them now? See, things change, isn't it? Maybe till now, nobody in your engagement team would have compromised independence. Now, some new person or now their relative are a management of the company. So, continuance you have to see. Are you understanding the meaning of continuance? Means you are agreeing to provide service again this year, audit service again this year. So, you are continuing with the existing client. So, what I'll have you to check? You have to check that there is the independence is proper, the engagement team of yours is capable enough to perform that engagement, or if you are taking up some new engagement of the time, you have of that client, your engagement team is competent enough to undertake that engagement as well. Means you have to prepare some assurance services you have to give. You have to prepare a prospective financial statement. Is your engagement team competent enough, capable enough? Ashwarya, is it clear to you now? Yes, ma'am, understood. Thank you. Okay, anyone else, any doubt? Somebody else was also raising the hand. Okay, we will take a short break here of exactly 10 minutes. Get back to the class at 7:40. Is that clear to all? Okay, we will take a break of 10 minutes and we Okay. So just before the break, we had studied. Just a minute. So just before the break, we had studied about what are the factors to be considered, okay, for risk assessment. Now we are going to study the factors to be taken into consideration by the auditor for establishing the audit strategy. Now you must be thinking, ma'am, there are too much of planning, strategy, factors, points to remember. How are we going to retain it all? Fair enough. I agree to your concern. But trust me, by the end of today's session only, I will show you something where you can clearly bifurcate that all these things are very easy to remember. I'll show you a chart where a clear bifurcation of all the factors and planning points are given. Okay, so don't worry, just try to understand the concept right now. Any problem with the concept, tell me. First time, it takes a little time to digest so many points, so many factors, points of planning and everything, but you'll be able to soon take it easy. All right. Now, factors to be considered for the audit establishing audit strategy. We have done points of factors to be done in planning. Now, strategy. Planning done, strategy. Okay. First, he has to identify the characteristics of the engagement that defines its scope. What do you mean by it? Scope means the area of coverage of audit. You have to identify how much, what all are you going to do in that engagement. While doing that, you have to take into account the applicable financial reporting framework. Obviously, you can't do audit without just ignoring the applicable financial reporting framework, because that is the overall objective of SA 200, to see whether the financial statements are prepared as per applicable financial reporting framework by the management, isn't it? So you have to see whether applicable financial reporting framework is present or not. You have to see the nature of business. Nature of business, ma'am. For example, you go to audit ITC. Now, ITC, you have to, there are so many segments. There are FMCG products, there are hotels of ITC, there are papers, this classmate and all these books, they come now. So many business, there are different segments of ITC. Now, if there is more segment, huh? So you tell me, you have to get more strategy done, more specialized knowledge people to employ there, isn't it? So your scope of work will increase, isn't it? If there is more segments, more work you have to do. So these are the factors that the auditor will consider. Okay. Then industry specific reporting. For example, I said different legal and regulatory framework have different financial reporting framework. Like I said, banking has another framework which is governed by RBI. Telecom have different, which is defined by TRI. So you have to see, is that industry specific reporting requirement has been dealt with by the company or not? And then you have to also obtain audit evidence obtained in the previous audit. For example, if audit evidence obtained in previous audit, for example, there was a rent agreement of say 5 years, okay, and you are continuing to audit that firm since past 4 years, you are auditing, of 3 years you are auditing, this is your 4th year, and that agreement is for 5 years. So will the rent agreement change? So there is no need to look into that rent agreement again and again. So strategy is how much time are you going to devote so that your audit is efficient and effective. What do you try to do? When exam is nearing, you try to look for videos on the YouTube or some content, some book where you have to do less study, it is revised and you get good marks. Outcome you want to be effective, good marks. But efficiency से इतना काम करके ही अच्छे marks आ जाए, क्या मतलब है इतना इतना पढ़ने का? But that will not help in CA, let me tell you that. You have to go in detail with all the topics. But you try, your tendency is so na that you will try to look up for shortcuts. What video can I watch? So similarly, they say. And if you have gone through some topic again and again, will you waste your time doing it again and again? No, you say it is done, over. Less, don't waste time here, deploy this energy in some other topic. So this is what the auditors thinks. They say, if there is a rent agreement for 5 years, you have seen it for last 2 years, again and you are going to see it. No, don't waste your time there. Do less work. So the scope is now decrease here. Are you trying to understand? Scope of work means how much work will the auditor do? More segments, more work. Less of audit evidence obtained from the previous means you already have an audit evidence, so less of work you're going to do that. Okay. So what are the 4 things? Applicable financial reporting framework, industry specific financial reporting framework. Means 2 for the framework and 2 for the nature of business and audit evidence obtained. 1 you have to do more work, 1 you have to do less work. Is this much clear? Easy to learn. Scope, 2 points of financial reporting, 2 points for scope of work. 1 is nature of business. If the nature of business have more segments, more work. Audit evidence priorly obtained in the previous audit, less work. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Next point, reporting objective. When report is to be given? When report is to given means when are you going to report? This report is to be, see, don't get confused here. Read the proper thing. Ascertain the reporting objective of the engagement to plan the timing of the audit and nature of communication required. They say, when will you report or when will the entity come in discussion with you? And the audit team has to communicate with 2 people. Who are those 2 people? One is the management they have to communicate with, and the other they have to communicate among themselves, that is the engagement team, isn't it? So they say you have to see reporting objective and also communication required with management and the audit team. So what all points have you to see here? You have to see the entity's timetable for reporting. Means when does the entity report? Entity reports to you generally in the AGM, annual general meeting only, no, the report is set up. So when does the entity report? Generally during the AGM's time. So entity's timetable. Then they say organization of meeting to discuss of nature, timing and extent of audit work with the management. Very first or second topic which we did after starting the topic is, will you discuss your planning with the management? You say yes. How much? Do not over discuss so as to not compromise the effectiveness of audit. So you will discuss something with the management. Then you will also discuss something with your own engagement team. So next is discussion with management regarding expected type and timings of the report. This also you will discuss with the management, that what kind of report do you want? What is the timing of the report? When do you want the report? Okay, including the auditor's report. Okay, type of report means which is applicable as per your industry. Are you understanding? Then discussion with management regarding expected communication on status of audit work. You will also discuss with the management, this much audit has been done and this much is yet to be done. Then communication among the engagement team. So what have you to see? You will first see the entity's timetable. When does the entity report? Discuss with management 3 things. You will discuss the nature, timing and extent of audit work. You will discuss the timings and type of report. Time and timing of report. Okay, including the auditor's report. And next you will also discuss the status of work. These 3 things you have to communicate with the management. And what communication? The last point is communication among the engagement team members. Means the auditor is communicating within the team members. So how are you going to remember these 5 points? One is the entity's timetable for reporting. Second is you are going to discuss with the management the nature, extent and timing of the audit work, isn't it? Time and timing of reporting. Then status of the audit work, and then the last thing you will communicate among the engagement team. Is this much clear to all? Are those 5 points learnt? Please show a thumbs up if you have understood. Show a thumbs up if you have understood. Hina Kumari, Hina, Miss Hina, what do you want to know in Hindi? Acha. Hina just asked where are you getting confused about? I will answer your question. Hina, just ask me your doubt. Okay. So while coming to the scope, we had discussed 5 points: entities timetable, then discussion with the management regarding timing and extent of audit work, then time and timing of report including the auditor's report, then the status of audit work, and then you have to communicate with among the engagement team. All right, then you will also consider factors that the auditor's professional judgment are significantly directing the engagement team's effort to. A question from this has been asked in May 24. Okay, factors affecting auditor's professional judgment. Professional judgment is his own, where he uses his own knowledge and skill, are significant in directing the engagement team's effort. Means where is the team working towards. Now, here you have to understand a bit. Please pay attention. It says auditors need to direct efforts of engagement team towards matter where his professional judgment are significant. It is more important. Now, where has he to see? Where there is a material ABCD. What is ABCD? Account balances, classes of transactions, and disclosures. Ma'am, what are these? For the time being, with respect to this chapter, I will restrict your knowledge to what are account balances. For example, any balance of any item of financial statement. For example, your plant and machinery showing rupees 2 lakh. Your stationery expenses showing rupees 5 lakh. That is nothing but account balance. Okay. Class of transaction means any particular kind of transactions. Okay. Those are called classes of transactions. Okay. All right. Then you say disclosures. Disclosures in the form of notes to accounts or disclosures regarding any accounting policies. So they say these matters. It involves fair amount of judgment. So he needs to use those efforts in forming professional judgment towards these material matters. Okay. Now they say few examples of these are volume of transactions. Vidya Sagar, what is the matter? Okay. Volume of transactions to rely on internal control. For examples, you have to check the internal controls. Internal controls, I told you, like purchases, when there is on the purchase receipt the stamp and signed of the proper authorized person, it means it is only stamped when the goods are received. It's a kind of control over purchases. For example, you have to see the volume of transactions. How many transactions does it involve? For example, I say there is a purchase of rupees 50 lakhs. But this total purchase of 50 lakhs has thousands of transactions included into it. Thousands of transactions included means individual purchases are of lesser amount. Okay, so what you will do? That will, your reliability of internal control will increase. That maybe the internal controls are efficient and you will not use more of your efforts in looking into internal control of those matters. Volume of transactions in matters. It is as simple as some retailers a retail shop next to your home, and you see the volume of transactions are huge, and he is ending up with say around 10,000 rupees sale every day or 5,000 rupees sale every day, and there are huge amount of transactions. You see, definitely the amount is considerably small for each item. It is expected that the internal controls would be better. Where large voluminous amount, for example, you go to some jewelry shop and there is a sale of rupees 5 lakhs, and there are only 2 items sold in that day. 2 lakhs rupees, one gold necklace, huh? And 3 lakh rupees, one diamond necklace. So, what do you think? The chances of misstatement or some kind of risk or internal control, you will say, here there is a risk high. There's a high risk. So what will you do? You will try to employ your efforts towards finding, because there are 2 transactions only of rupees 5 lakh. The volume of transaction is more, but the transactions, number of transactions are less, isn't it? So you have to employ more efforts to check the internal controls. But where the volume of transactions are more and the actual value of transaction is not considerably that big, you can rely upon the internal controls. Are you all understanding this? Are you all understanding this? Show me a thumbs up if you are understanding. Show me a thumbs up if you are understanding. I request you all to please show me a thumbs up. Ma'am, I didn't understand when to deploy. What to deploy? Vedant Tiwari, deployment means putting your resources. That is meant by deploy. Vedant, putting resources, putting engagement team to that work. For example, you have to check inventory. You are putting 2 people from your engagement team to do that work. That is meant by deploy. Assigning 2 people to that work. Vedant Tiwari, is it now clear? This is what is meant by deploy. Vedant, please write yes if you have understood. Deploy means okay, all right. Okay, he has understood. All right. Now, they say if there is some significant changes in the industry. For example, some new reporting requirement has come up. Some new regulation has come up. So you have to check that whether internal controls there are proper or not. Or you have to check whether there is some material misstatement or not. Has it been complied with or not? So you have to check when the volume of transactions, these are the factors, okay? These are few examples that volume of transactions are more than you can rely on internal control. If there is a change in industry regulation, then you will have to see to the matters. If there is change in financial reporting framework, some new Ind AS coming, some new accounting standard, has it been dealt with properly or not? Okay. Then some change in legal requirement. For example, some new law coming up and the company has not complied with it. So you have to check that too, isn't it? Okay. Then coming to the results of preliminary engagement. What 3 things did you see in the preliminary engagement? Who will write in the chat box? 3 things we checked in the preliminary engagement activity. 2 related to SA 210. Continuance with the client relationship and evaluating the compliance of ethical requirement including independence, and the third is engagement letter. Are you all understanding? So results of primary engagement activity, and then where applicable, whether knowledge gained on other engagement performed by the engagement partner for the entity is relevant or not. Here just try to understand. For example, this is your second year audit. Second year audit means you have already audited for 1 year. Second year, and then check that you have to take into consideration 2 things here. First year of audit, when you were doing, you had pointed out some deficiencies to the management, that see management, you need to correct this, you need to follow this accounting policy, you need to do it this way. Second year of audit, you have to see whether the management has listened to the deficiencies pointed out by you and have corrected those things or not, and now has they followed, has they complied with whatever shortcomings or deficiencies you pointed out in the previous year of audit. So you have to see whether they have dealt with or not, whether proper internal controls have been operated within the organization or not. And second thing you have to see, that if it is your first year of audit where you do not have any information about the client, then you will gain informations by asking question. And how will you ask question? Something comes before you, you will say, how has this been done? We will do a topic called professional skepticism. Professional skepticism is nothing but a questioning mind. There was a movie called Judai, if you all know. You must be, some of you might have not been born that time also. Some of you might be very small. Judai, uh, there is one character, Paresh Rawal, in that. And Paresh Rawal always had a question mark on his head. What do you mean by that? Paresh Rawal used to always ask question. ऐसा क्यों हुआ? ये क्यों हो रहा है? वो क्यों हो रहा है? Like you all look at the young kids, if you come across 3 or 4 year kids nowadays, they are so inquisitive to know things. They already always have a questioning mind. Acha mama, why so? Didi, why so? Bua, why so? They keep asking questions. So similarly, if you are first time going to that client's place, you do not have any information about the client apart from whatever he has told you prior. But so what are you to do? Whenever you come across any transaction, sir, could you please explain how is this dealt with? Sir, how is this dealt with? How have you done this? Okay, all these things. So they say that you have to keep into mind two things. If it is your second year of audit, you will check whether deficiency pointed out by you in the first year have been dealt in and complied by the management or not. If it's your first year of audit, you have to gain information through professional skepticism. That is, you have to keep asking question. Okay, so what it is saying, results of, you have to, the auditor have to ascertain whether results of previous audit that involves evaluating operating effectiveness of internal control, have they been taken, have the management taken action to address the same? You have pointed out few deficiencies in the internal control system and whether that has been dealt with. And also the manner in which the auditor emphasizes to engagement team members the need to maintain questioning mind and to exercise professional skepticism. The engagement team has to continuously ask question. Why so, sir? Why so? Okay, so these things you have to keep in mind. Then ascertain the nature, timing, and extent of resources. Means who all from your management team you're going to deploy again. Then at what time will you ask those person to work? To how many number of resources? Resources are nobody else but your members of the team. It is called human resources basically. How many team members are you going to assign to some engagement? Selection of the team, engagement team, and assignment of the audit work. Then you need to have experienced team to see items where there is a higher risk of material misstatement. For example, high risk of material misstatement, suppose there is a fraud in revenue. There is a fraud in revenue. So what all people from your engagement team will you send to check them, check the revenue? You suspect a fraud in revenue. You think that there could be a fraud in revenue. So you will send some experienced team member to check that particular revenue. Revenue is the income which you are getting and you think sales are reported at rupees 2 crores, but it should not be 2 crores. It is much more than that or much less than that, whatever it is. So you will send experienced team member. Then to what extent? To what extent means how many people are you going to assign to check that item of revenue? More time and budget to be employed to that particular area. The area where risk of material mismanagement is more, you will send more, you will assign more people from your engagement team to see to those transactions. Isn't it? Are you understanding? What does it mean? Nature, timing, and extent of resources means how many people, what kind of a people. Nature means what kind of a people, experienced team members you're going to send. And extent means how many team members are you going to assign to that particular assignment. Okay, is it clear to all? Please show me a thumbs up if it is clear. I request all of you to please show me a thumbs up if this much is clear to you all. Yes, ma'am. Any Others also understood. Okay. Now, since you have understood this much, I would like to take you to a small chart of whatever we have covered today. A small chart just for your revision purpose, so that you do not get confused or you think that the chapter is too long for you. We have just done half a chapter, a little more than half of the chapter. Okay, but I would like you to have a look at this particular diagram which I have prepared for you in a very shorter way, so that you remember things, the contents of whatever we have done today. Let's come to it quickly. All right, here comes the chart. We have dealt with today audit strategy and audit planning. Okay, first we did audit planning, and in audit planning we did preliminary engagement activity and audit plan. In audit plan we did benefits and we did factors. Do you remember benefit? AA, AA, PP, EE, selection, DSR and experts. Factors, realm. Okay, this is a very short form. See, this chapter is divided into very small area: audit planning, audit strategy. Then for audit planning we have few topics, in audit strategy we have few topics. Preliminary activity, we check acceptance, ethical requirements, engagement letter. You all remember? Audit strategy, benefits. What benefits? Nature, timing and extent of resources. What did we do? How many resources? Kaise resources? Experience resources. Timing, when to employ them. Number of resources, and also direction, supervision and review of resources. And factors, we did scope, reporting objective, activities, preliminary activities, results of the preliminary activities. Resources, what resources? How many resources to deploy and their efforts. Are you able to see to this chart? Are you able to connect something? Come on, show me thumbs up. Okay, just for your understanding, what we will do some questions, so that let us see whether you are able to answer or not. Okay, is my screen visible to all? Is my screen visible to all? Okay. Question. CA Rishu is appointed as an auditor of a manufacturing company with a complex supply chain. Okay. Multiple inventory location and recently introduced financial reporting requirements. Some articles assistant and an expert assigned for inventory verification are forming part of the audit team of CA Rishu. So who all are in that team? Some articles, experts for inventory and Rishu himself. To ensure that audit risk is reduced to an acceptably low level, CA Rishu is focused on developing an effective and efficient audit plan. Explain the benefits of adequate audit planning. Benefits: AA, PP, EE, selection, expert, TSR. Are you able to recall benefits? See, how have they asked the direct question in a case study? You all know the benefits, but it has just come in a form of a case study. So what have you to write? Appropriate attention, AA, PP, potential problems, EE, effective and efficient manner. Then selection of engagement team, DSR, direction, supervision and review of the engagement team, and experts, coordination of work done by the engagement team and the other experts. Are you all understanding? And how are you going to conclude your answer? Therefore, planning and audit ensure audit risk is reduced. Just copying the line of the questions. Reduced to an acceptably low level. When audit work is adequately and properly planned, it reduces the risk of inappropriate opinion by the auditor. Are you seeing how the answer is written? Are you able to understand AAEEPP selection, DSR expert? Come on, show me a thumbs up if you are able to understand. Show me thumbs up if you are able to understand. Sureksha Sharma, WhatsApp link I will not be able to share. You have to consult the BOS. Do you have the BOS app with you? Okay. All right. So you have understood. Coming to the next question. Preliminary engagement activities include certain activities to be performed by an auditor while planning the audit. Discuss such activities briefly. How performing such activities assess the auditor. We have done so many number of times. Preliminary activities include procedures regarding continuance of client relationship, evaluating compliance with ethical requirements, including independence, establishing an understanding of the terms of engagement. And how does it assess the auditor? It assists in identifying and evaluating the events or circumstances that might affect auditor's ability to perform and plan the audit engagement. Is this question clear to all of you? Are you seeing the question and are you able? I'm just showing you the first question. Those who have missed out, please read the question and see, are you able to write the answer? Will you be able to write the answer? Come on, show me thumbs up or ask questions. Clear, okay. Okay, is it clear to all? Second question I'm showing to all of you. Please see properly. Preliminary engagement activities include certain activities to be performed. What are those activities? First 2 points of essay. Who will tell me first 2 points of which essay and last? Yes, Rosie Valia. Write in the chat box. Chat is working now. Okay, and the last is essay 210. Very good, Rosie. Very good. So proud of you. Okay, now coming to the next question. CAN, engagement partner of LPS and Associate, is planning for audit of a large company. As part of preliminary engagement activity being performed in this regard, he wants to ensure that compliance with independence requirement is adhered. Independence requirement. How are we testing the independence? How shall he form a conclusion that audit firm complies with independence? Do you remember? Identify the threats. Evaluate whether they actually create a threat and to take corrective actions. Are you able to recall? See how the answer is written. Engagement partner form a conclusion on the compliance with independence. Regarding independence, he has to obtain relevant information and identify and evaluate circumstances and relationship that creates threat to independence. Evaluate whether they create a threat of independence to that particular audit engagement or not, and take appropriate action to eliminate such threats or reduce it to an acceptably low level by applying safeguards, or if considered appropriate, agar he is not able to apply safeguards, he should withdraw from the audit engagement. Means he should say no, there appears threat, I cannot accept this audit assignment. Wherever withdrawal is permitted by law and regulation, if he is able to withdraw, please withdraw. The engagement partner shall promptly report to the firm any inability to resolve the matter for appropriate action. Means this will be dealt in another chapter in detail, but as of now, just understand that you have to assess the threats. You have to evaluate, identify, then evaluate how much threat. Then take appropriate action to either eliminate or reduce. If you are able to eliminate, well and good. If you are able to reduce, well and good. If you are not able to reduce, then withdraw from the assignment. Report that your inability because of the threat, you are not able to undertake that assignment because there existed threat to independence, which is a major factor while accepting the audit. Anyone, any doubt, please ask. Anyone, any doubt, please ask. Are you able to understand the question? Raise your hands in case you have any doubt. No doubts? Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Now, the next question. During audit of ABC Limited, a medium-sized manufacturing company, the engagement partner is responsible for directing, supervising of the work of the engagement team. The team includes both experienced and several new trainees as well. Okay. Additionally, certain areas of the audit have been identified as high risk, such as revenue recognition. This was the example I had given you. And inventory valuation due to recent changes in ABC's accounting policy. Ah ha 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 ha. Change in the applicable financial reporting framework or change in the legal requirements. Very, very good. Okay. Then, what factors should the engagement team members consider while determining the nature, timing, and extent of direction, supervision, and review of engagement? Come on, tell me. Size and complexity. Area of audit. Assessed risk of material misstatement and the capabilities and competence of individual team member performing the audit work. Are you able to understand the question? While reading the question, you should immediately, it should click to your mind from where will the answer come? Are you all understanding? Are you all understanding? Okay. All right. This much question only I am going to take today. Now, you all tell me any doubt if you all have. Anyone, any doubt? Let's quickly revise whatever we have done today. We'll just revise from this chart. 2 points, audit strategy, audit planning. Audit planning, benefits. First coming to benefits, then coming to factors. Benefits, AAPPEE selection, DSR experts. Factors, realm. From where is it coming from? Let's quickly go to the content. Planning, factors and benefits. Quickly, are you all with me? Come on, we are on the verge of revision of whatever we have done. Since I'm not getting any queries, I don't know whether you have actually understood or not. Have you all understood? Come on. Coming to benefits, we have discussed benefits. AAEEPP. Selection, DSR and expert. Come on. Benefits, very important question again. Appropriate attention to important areas. Identify and resolve potential problems. Effective and efficient audit. Organize and manage efficient. Please mind, these keywords are for you to remember, but you are going to write in full. Organize and manage efficient and effective audit. Are you all understanding? Am I clear? Selection of team members who are able to assess risk areas, highly risky areas. Then DSR of that review engagement team, and then coordination with other auditors and expert. Benefit. Coming to the factors, the realm. What was the realm? Risk assessment procedures, experts, analytical procedures, legal regulatory framework, and materiality. These were the factors. Then preliminary expenses, preliminary engagement activity. 3 points. 2 from 220, 1 from 210. Continuance of the client's relationship, ethical requirement including independence, understanding the terms of engagement. All right, then strategy. Coming to strategy we had benefits. What were the benefits? Will anyone tell me the benefits? Okay, factors, it was rare and a scope. One is scope, rare, reporting objective. A stands for activities, these preliminary results of preliminary activities. Again, an R stands for last, R stands for rare, E stands for this engagement team's effort, and again an R that was related to the NTE of resources. S rare, number one scope. Then R means nature, timing and extent of resources, and also the what is the query coming? Mustafa, acha, okay, you are answering. Please pay attention to what I'm explaining right now. You are answering to the previous queries. Ma'am, show the question again. Which question do you want to see, Harsh Mishra? Harsh, please tell me which question. Okay, let's quickly revise and then I can come back to the question, Harsh. Okay, reporting objective, then activities, then R for NTE of resources, and E for the engagement team effort. Okay. Let's come to the questions. Anyone, which question? Harsh, come on. I'm showing you the questions. Please see the questions. First question was this. I'm giving you time to go to the, see, all these questions will be uploaded on the portal. Are you all understanding? These questions will be uploaded. This time, please utilize this class timing just to ask your queries. We are discussing the question. I'm showing you how to write the answers. How are you supposed to answer the question? But what is more important is you ask your doubts. Any doubts in whatever we have done today? Raise your hands if you have any doubt, please. Harsh, I'm showing you the question again. Yes, the questions will be uploaded shortly if they aren't. Yes, Ashwarya. Ashwarya? Ashwarya, what is your query? Please write in the chat box. Ashwarya? Vishal, what query do you have? Please write in the chat box. Whatever queries you have, please write in the chat box.
We can allow them to unmute now. They can raise hand and they can answer.
Okay, Vishal. Let me unmute your this thing. Is the technical team present? Technical team, are you?
Ji, allow them to unmute.
Okay. Vishal, please unmute yourself, child, and ask the question.
Hello.
Yes, Vishal.
Yes, ma'am. Stabilizing and understanding of terms of engagement.
Yes.
ये वाला डाउट है मैम, इसमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा है.
Okay. It is related to essay 210, terms of engagement. I told like auditor will give the engagement letter stating his duties, that what all scope of audit, whatever he is going to cover. And there will be a common understanding between the auditor and a client. Okay, that see, we are entering into an arrangement. What arrangement? Engagement, audit engagement. Okay, we are entering into this engagement, and these are the conditions. If you are okay, please acknowledge the same. So this is agreeing with the terms of engagement, and there should be a common understanding. Two people agreeing to the same terms and conditions. Are you understanding? Terms of engagement, the auditor and the client are having a common understanding and they are agreeing. Auditor is saying, I will do this work. Client is saying, okay. Are you now understanding, Vishal?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, is it clear? We will do in detail in essay 210. Don't worry.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Clear.
All right. Yes, Vishal was there. Anyone else? Any doubt? Ashwarya, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma'am.
Very good evening, Ashwarya.
Ma'am, I have doubt in question number second.
Okay.
They are asked in brief. So should we explain the SA 210 and 220?
Ashwarya, you like when you are writing what preliminary engagement activities include, you will write 2 to 3 lines regarding essay 220, whatever it's saying, continuance of client relationship. Okay?
Yeah, ma'am.
Compliance with ethical requirements. What are you going to write? You will write, he has to see whether there appear any threat. If there appear, evaluate the threat, take appropriate action to reduce the threat, which involves independence. Are you understanding, Ashwarya?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ha, right. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubt? Please raise your hands. No doubts? If you don't have doubts, then we will ask the questions. If you
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
have...
You take up the question just to check whether they are able to understand.
All
Just
right.
for 5 minutes.
Okay. Who will tell me the benefits of planning, audit planning, benefits? Quickly write in the chat box. Okay, Rosie Walia, unmute yourself and answer the question.
Ma'am, it's AA, PP, EES, DSR, and experts.
See, this you are not going to write in the exam, Rosie.
Okay, ma'am, I am explaining that.
Yes, you have to explain. Come on.
To detect the appropriate areas of the audit and what is PP is
AA, when you say AA, then?
Ma'am, you can stop sharing.
appropriate areas.
Okay, all right.
Ma'am, PP is to identify and resolve
It is
the potential
appropriate
problem.
attention to the areas. Rosie,
Yes,
please,
ma'am.
while remembering the mnemonics, please, students, I urge you, I request you, do not forget the word. If you are going to learn the mnemonics like that without understanding, it is going to be very, very disgraceful and wrong on your part. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
PP is identify and resolve potential problems
Very
on
good.
timely basis.
Very good.
EE is to properly organize and manage the audit engagement in effective and efficient manner.
Very
Right?
good.
Next is S is selection of engagement team with capabilities and competence to anticipated risks.
Very good.
And DSR is direction and supervision of engagement team members and
Direction, supervision, and review of engagement
review
team.
of their work.
Engagement team. Yes. Okay. And the
Expert,
last is expert.
experts
Not, it was not just expert. Expert was made to make you remember. What was it?
in coordination of the work done by others, such as experts. Example आपने दी थी like litigation, tax
Right. Right.
expert.
Okay. Good. Yes, Karuna ma'am, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I just want to make one announcement that tomorrow, success at CA exam Success for CA, right? For you students, it's conducted by BOS. And tomorrow for paper 5 auditing and ethics session is at 2 p.m. And there we will be having a small quiz also, which you can attend from your dashboard by scanning the code, right? So looking forward to see you for the BOS for your success or success at CA exam conducted by BOS. In this session, we used to give the overview of the syllabi and also how to study, how to write, tips also, right? So, of course, LVC is going further and chapter wise chapter we will be discussing in much more detail and in depth. But yes, tomorrow also I request you all to attend Success at CA exam conducted by BOS at 2 p.m. Yeah, ma'am, you can continue. And I think with one or two query, we can conclude. But yes, in the next session, our chapter 2 will be going to be over. So we will ask them questions from chapter 1 and 2, right? Yes,
Yes.
Krishna, it will be fun. So I urge you all, please join the session and you will be able to have much more tips and fun in that session.
Yes,
Yeah.
all of you are
Over
going
to
to
you, ma'am.
benefit from that session. So please do attend that session. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubt? Please ask me your queries. This time is very precious for you all to ask queries. Have all of you understood? Okay. All right. Okay, understood. Understood. Please, I want participation from more
And
students.
ma'am, what I request you, just don't ask from only one student. If she is telling one point, then second point, let other students tell.
All
So
right,
then
ma'am.
maximum participation can be there. And students, we are doing it only for you, beta. We are not going to get any benefit. It will be good for you when you will speak. It will be it will retain in your brain because you will be able to recall that yes, this question was asked by ma'am and I answered this,
Yes.
or I added, like Rosie gave answer or Harsh gave answer, so I added in that, right? So if you are participative, it will definitely help you. No worries, if you are telling wrong also, we will correct you and it will really be very helpful for you. So I request all of you to be participative. Of
Okay.
course, in the beginning, we need to cover the whole concept. So it should not be like the session is overall interactive and we are missed from the content which we were required to cover. But definitely, we don't want you to have any doubts in your mind. अगर आपके mind में कोई भी doubt है, you can, without any hesitation, you can ask. And ma'am will be clarifying. If I need to interfere, I'll also clarify, like from the BS perspective of any other query, right? So don't hesitate, just answer. So I think, ma'am, time is indicating just small one or two answer and then we can conclude. Yeah.
Okay. Who will tell me the factors to be considered while developing the audit plan? Factors to be considered. Anyone? Factors to be considered.
And you know, this question is generally asked in the paper. Yeah,
Yes.
Mujahid.
Mujahid, please unmute yourself and answer.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Mujahid.
Factors mean AFRF, like applicable financial reporting framework, और nature of business segments आएगा. और
Mujahid, can you recall that realm?
sorry,
Can you recall that realm? You are going little diverted. Okay, answer. Attempt answering this question.
factors.
Yeah,
Factors.
factors. Factors.
Yeah, ma'am. Applicable financial reporting framework applicable होता है. और nature of business segments, specific reporting requirements by industrial regulators, and expert use of audit evidence obtained previous audits.
Anyone else who wish to answer this question? Yes, Gunjan.
Abhinav, Ria,
Gunjan Devi.
Nausheen, Abhinav Mishra, Adil Khan, Deepak. Any one of you can unmute yourself and tell the answer. Please raise your hand.
Factors in professional judgment, engagement, team efforts, results of primarily.
Mujahid, you are giving a hit and trial now. This nahi to this nahi to this. Anyone else? Gunjan Devi, please unmute yourself and answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, analytical procedure applied as risk assessment procedure,
Very good.
understanding of the legal and regulatory framework of the business,
Right.
determination of the materiality,
Very good.
involvement of the experts,
Very
I
good.
think Ria can also add on.
Yes, Ria, please.
Ria
Mujahid,
Gunjan, one second.
Mujahid, are
Yeah.
you listening to the answer? Mujahid, it is for you. Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, Ria, please answer. One more factor is left. Ria, please unmute yourself and answer.
If Ria is not able to unmute, then Rosie, let Rosie tell.
Rosie has already answered, ma'am.
Okay, Ria, lower your hand and answer, beta. No issues, let Rosie complete now.
Acha, okay, Rosie.
Ma'am, performance of other risk assessment procedures.
Anybody else who wish to add something?
So,
Anybody
ma'am,
else?
you complete and
Anybody else? I want them to participate, ma'am.
Ma'am, there are two more factors like involvement of KMPs in the audit planning
Acha, or?
and discussion of elements of planning with entity management team.
No. Analytical procedures. One which is left is legal and regulatory framework.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes.
Misunderstood.
Determination of materiality, involvement of experts, other risk assessment procedures. Yes. Are you now getting,
so
Rosie?
I
You
think
got
today
confused.
we need to
No,
give them
no.
time so
Yes,
that they can
yes.
revise and recall. And
I
students,
understand.
chapter 2's question are already being uploaded, and I'm sure you have completed your homework, which we gave in the previous class. You have written the questions?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Good. Only you have written, Rosie, or any other students? Those who have written, can they raise their hand?
Ria has
Good,
written.
Ria.
Vishal has written. Deepika has written.
Very good. Gunjan, Deepika, Vishal, Krishna. Keep it up, beta. If you are writing on continuous basis, it will be reflected in your marks. And I promise you, rather I will seek your feedback, how many marks you got.
So
So
please
I
revise
think,
whatever. Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Please revise. I can understand there are too many points, but the chart I had shown
Yes.
you that will be uploaded also. And please see that you are able to recall things. Just revise. And I know there are too many points to remember, but still I will make sure that the next class it is on your fingertips. All right. So
Yes,
please
yes.
just
So
revise.
that's the reason I said, ki, ma'am, they have gone through so much.
So
Na?
many
It's like
points.
in
Yes, I
2.5
understand.
hours, they have studied so much. Maybe sometimes it is not easy to recall.
Yes,
So
I
that is the
understand.
reason in the next class, we will ask them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beta.
Sure.
So you
Yes.
have to prepare and you have to study. So in next session, we'll be asking some of the question from chapter 1 and definitely from chapter 2 also. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I think with this, time is indicating us to conclude. If you have any query or feedback, you can definitely share to us. It's very important for us. Yeah. Thank you, Krishna. And with this, I think we can conclude the session. And chapter 2 is chapter 2 is continuing in the next session also. We request you to complete chapter 1 if it is not being completed. And of course, chapter 2 till today we have covered. Want you to complete so that in the next session you are prepared for the same. And one second. and looking forward to see you tomorrow in the session for successor CA examination, right? Conducted by BOS. And with this, thank you, Sakshi ma'am. Thank you to
Thank you.
each and every participant. And thank you, technical team, for the wonderful session, right? So I hope in the next session you all will be ready. And tomorrow, looking forward to seeing the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, students,
Thank
and
you.
thank you, technical team. Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night. Yeah, Nisarg ji.